and welcome to Fast Lane. This is Chris Korfist. This is my first episode of Fast Lane, brought to you by Simply Faster. This is my announcing voice. Very nice. Hey, on this first one, I thought I'd have JT Ayers come on and talk to me. He has his own podcast. He's done over 100. He's a good friend of mine. We've been working on 1080 stuff together. We're in different places right now. I have just survived an ice storm in Chicago, getting ready for the next one in sub-zero temperature for a week while he is in the balmy hills between Los Angeles and San Diego.
Yeah, not quite. I mean, it's literally 80 and sunny outside.
Oh, those are the days. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
These are supposed to be short. I'm not Joe Rogan doing a 3-hour one, although that would be fun. This past year, JT bought a 1080 Sprint, and we've been working together. I've been helping train him how to use it with his athletes. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity for him to share what he has done with it. And I've got 4 basic questions for him. And I think the first question is the question that everyone has when you say, hey, I want a 1080 is, how did you afford a 1080 Sprint?
Wow, that's literally the $1 million question. The 1080 is not cheap. We are fortunate enough to host very large track meets that are fundraisers. I teach and coach at a public high school, so our fundraising is everything. I mean, in fact, my school and school district really don't give anything besides the facility, but if I host a track meet, I have to pay for the timer, I have to pay for the janitors, I have to pay for the sound that comes out of the speakers, and everyone else just does it for free, including me and all my coaching staff. So we fundraise a lot. And so this just happened to be a year. I didn't have a pole vault landing system I needed to buy, or a high jump landing system, or blocks. I will next year. Like, there's some drastic needs for next year. So the big ticket item this year was buying the 1080.
That's awesome. I had the same trade-off. I didn't get my daughter braces, and I bought the 1080 instead. So now she's got summer teeth, summer here and summer there.
Oh, goodness. My gosh. Yeah, you choose which kid you love the most sometimes.
That's right. That's right. So you got it. You opened it up. You plugged it in. First day, how'd you use it with the team? Because that's another concern people have is we got 20 kids in one 1080. So what's your workaround for that?
Well,
what did you do?
20. I mean, I have 300. My team's quite large. I would recommend buying it in the off season. A dear friend of mine, Brian Weaver at Buchanan High School, is a very good coach up in the kind of Central Valley of California. He also bought one. And so him and I have been trying to navigate this thing together. So I buy this $21,000 machine, and I'm very excited. And then I realize real quickly, you pretty much need to get a PhD in the 1080. Lucky for me, I have good friends. Like, one is you, Chris Korfist. And not only that, but 1080, I must have done 3 or maybe, even 5 to 6 just quick Zoom calls with them. This is how you set it up. This is what it does. This is what you want to do. This is what happens when the tablet device that you buy, and it goes with it. This is what you're trying to do with it. They walked me through step by step, and I really took it on as a hobby, and I'm not as smart as you, so I needed to find workarounds to make sure the 1080 machine is being utilized. Because if we fundraise and I give this, and I have this device, I have this machine to help with my entire team, pole vaulters to sprinters to hurdlers and what have you. Well, it's my job to make sure we utilize it as effectively as possible. So I opened it up and I was very overwhelmed. But now I'm at a point where after about 4 or 5 months just playing with it, I'm feeling really comfortable with it. And now I'm not anywhere near, I'm still a surface level. However, I'm now capable enough to be able to use this thing in a way that is effective for the team. And we are in season right now. So I've had some fun kind of playing with it, even though I'm doing some of the basics. You've actually encouraged me to experiment a little bit. And we've even been on the phone while I'm using the 1080, and you're doing some fun stuff with my athletes, and we're seeing the byproduct of those fun experiments right now.
So what have you seen? So you're 4 months in. What are your results?
Well, the first thing is you are on the phone with me and you're saying, here are your key performance indicators. This is what the machine says. These are the data and the results. This is what it means. And so here, I wrote them down. Like, I should be looking for some max power out of every result. And so you told me that boys should be hitting around 23 as their max power, and girls in a good sprinter is hitting around 20. Well, now I have indicators for my athletes and myself to see when they do a rep, where are we getting? And then why aren't we receiving that data? Why are they not achieving those desired results? So ratio of force, how do you get that? I mean, you're telling me I need to get about 54%. I mean, that means they're not driving long enough in their acceleration phase. And 100% of my athletes were not driving long enough. And I have everything on the track. I have chalk on the track from Vince Anderson's acceleration drills. I'm next to them videotaping from behind, and then sometimes with my iPhone videotaping in slow-mo to see their patterns. Are they hitting the right shapes in triple extension? Everything looks great. And then I get the 1080 data and it says, nope, not great, and this is why. And so we've been working on that. Also, another one is frequency. If they're under 4.7 hertz, then they just have slow turnover, which is, again, especially in January when we're recording this, that's 100% of my athletes. So we're learning about turnover. So I've been using it mostly right now for acceleration. I have yet to dive into the overspeed aspect of it, but I will be. I mean,
Oh, we're going to get there.
you and I have big plans. And I've always used overspeed, but I've always used the pulley system where I am hooked up to the fence with a pulley and a rope that's going 50 meters back. And as I jog, they jog. And when they get close enough, that slack drops, the rope drops, and then we just pray to God it doesn't wrap around someone's ankle or whip up and hit somebody. It scares me to death doing it. And now with the 1080, not only can I track it, but I can set it in the way that should be done, and it's safe. Chris, I can't tell you that safety aspect of just doing overspeed, it's really a game changer for me. And that's one of the big reasons why I decided that the 1080 was something I should go for, and not one of the Chinese knockoffs, not one of the cheaper versions, which on social media, I got some great advice. There's a lot of great people, really smart coaches are like, you don't need it. Use this, 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 and this. And I was like, well, if I have the money, why would I not just spend it on the thing that I know that works rather than go get the cheap knockoff? So we got the 1080 and we've been really happy with it. Your question earlier was how do I have so many athletes? Well, not every athlete gets the 1080. I have them in certain tiers, and the upper level, high end athletes that can achieve some of those performance indicators I just mentioned. Well, they hop on the machine, and it's not everybody. And that's okay. And there will come a time where the freshman sprinter may have the opportunity to move up, and maybe a great junior, senior sprinter they'll hop on the 1080. And so I don't have in the system every single athlete I have. I have those special rare ones that really can use the data. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to put my 8-year-old, eighth grader daughter on it right now. Like we have a lot other things to work on, like maybe just learning how to put the foot into the ground in a proper posture. And 1080 is not going to be for her yet.
You never know.
It's true. That's true. And I'm only using it on the track. You like to use it everywhere, including, your fun street that's always on social media. And so
my street and my driveway and my,
Yeah.
and all that. So how many kids can you get through in a workout? Let's say it's an
Mhm.
acceleration day. What's your frequency? How fast do kids get through? How many kids are getting through? How do you set that up? What's the logistics behind that with such a huge
Great
team?
question. All good coaches have to be organizational geniuses. I mean, they have to be. And so we have a plan. Let's say we're doing like what I've been using the 1080 for just recently is with my short hurdlers. And it's been a really fun thing to do. And so um we literally walk it over. I put it onto a bench, so it's a little higher raised. And I give them resistance, usually 3 kilogram of resistance, and they run through the first hurdle. They walk around, they let go, and it goes. And it comes back. Because that and setting up the blocks while the athlete goes, the other athlete already has blocks right next to him with a hurdle ready to go. So they just grab the cable, stick it on, and go. And so I can get a good size of my athletes to go through it. And I'm not checking the data in that moment instantly. This is more of it's almost like a contrast type of training where they're receiving a little bit of resistance going through the first hurdle. And then they do that a few reps. Then we put the first 3 hurdles up, and I'll do like 3 lanes, and all right, we're all racing now. And then I will time those with probably like a free lap or something. And I give a another indicator for the first 3 hurdles and what that should look like. So I can pretty much do, I would say 10 to 12 athletes and get through a given practice and feel pretty good about it.
And what's that time frame? How long is
We're
that
not
practice? 90 minutes, an hour?
Yeah. Yeah, no, a little over an hour. We'll go 90 minutes,
Okay.
but we're not going longer than that. I mean, no practice I've ever given has been, longer than 2 hours, and that's a
My
long
problem
time.
is once someone throws down a time or a metric and then it's on,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden we're 2 hours into practice. It's like, guys, we got to stop. No, coach, one more. I got this one. And everyone's watching.
That's
All right, I'm,
fun. I mean,
I'm shutting it off.
that's
I'm turning the
culture.
machine off. It's unplugged. Oops. Sorry, we're going
Yeah,
home.
right. We're not there yet. You've had a lot more experience with the 1080. Now I have the Sprint 2, and so the Sprint 2 has been a really fun thing just to wheel out, have it all ready to go. The other day I actually wheeled it out and it was not charged. I charged it all, overnight and my plug wasn't even plugged in. So that's a
Another
bummer.
plug-in problem.
Another plug-in problem. Inside joke from Off Podcast. That's
I couldn't get my headphones to work, and then I realized they weren't plugged in.
yeah. Oh man, I thought it was me. But I'll tell you this. There's something magical about having the 1080. It's just another device or another tool in my arsenal of things that I have where I can show the athletes data and it has to be meaningful. Like I'm not sure this is recorded, but I just have a bunch of different.
You made a nice chart. You made
I
a really
did.
nice chart.
I made a Google spreadsheet with a chart, and then I copy and paste that. And what I do is, as soon as the athlete's done, I just go in and I just look at what they did and I just plot the points. And then we can see week to week to week to week the improvement. And there is improvement. And there's one thing that I never thought was super important, even though in the back of my mind is the first 3 steps.
Yeah.
The first 3 steps out of the 100, and especially even the hurdles, it's extremely meaningful. And I never knew that. And so now we have to train for it. And I'm also finding I have athletes that are so off balance when they're running. I mean, I have one athlete, it's like 25% stronger on his right than he is his left. I mean, that athlete, without me even knowing it, is about to get hurt. And so we've been doing drills a little differently, bounding
Yeah.
a little differently, focusing on one leg over the other, and also focusing on balance because he's so off balance. And, that happens when boys gain 30 pounds and grow 6 inches in a given summer.
Yeah.
So that's something we've been working on, and I never had the data to know if that was even a thing.
So to kind of go along with that, the question, you've got this data. How's it changed the way you coached and trained? What have you changed from what you did 3 years ago?
Well, it's made certain things possible. I don't have to get as goofy and creative. Like, for instance, I don't have them pulling a speed sax, sled behind them, which varying degrees of weight this is now
Bumps.
geared exactly. Oh man. Well, and then now they can go. I mean, I have resistance training over a hurdle right now, and I already mentioned my hurdlers. Being able to pull an athlete over a hurdle when they get their first 8 steps to the first hurdle, and then taking the resistance off and letting them go, it's been really neat. I've even experimented with having them do drills with resistance, with lead legs and trail legs, and it's not a tons of resistance. It's just a little bit. It's just enough where I would say it's pretty close to 10% of the body weight for most athletes. I mean, that's pretty much 3 kilograms.
Yeah.
And so that's been nice. I am very excited about the overspeed stuff because the overspeed, as I mentioned before, is now safe. So 3 years ago, my overspeed training was not safe, and now it is. And so I have an opportunity to do more than I've done in the past. I've been doing more running with it. You've even kind of guided me through the idea of it's raining outside. And for us in California, it's a pretty big deal. Like, we don't like getting wet. We shrink up and cry.
In fact, when it's 55 degrees, you guys wear winter jackets like we wear when it's 0.
No, that's a snow day for us. We're not even going to school. That's crazy. So, we've put it in my classroom, and now we're putting resistance, and we're working on just psoas and hip flexor drills and coming out into a different posture. They're not even moving. We have a storage area, and I can put a lot of resistance on it, and we don't have a lot of room. And now we can really work on those first couple steps and get metrics and data to support it. So the athletes, I bought this machine, and now they believe they have the best, a possibility of to being the fastest they could possibly be because we have something that shows that they can. And sometimes that belief's more important than actually what you do.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Well, I was told this has to be 20 minutes. We've got 3 minutes left, so I'm going to end with this one. You're a reflective person, and I know you think a lot about what you do. And so you've got this data and you've got this experience. What have you learned based on all this data that you've got in and you looked at and you've put into your charts and all the data that they give you online and all that? And what's changed?
Yeah.
What's going to change?
Well, there's a few things, and that's a great question. Number one, I now know, and I knew before, but now I know even more so that I am not smart enough to know these things. And there's gurus out there, but the 1080 and then the data has given me an opportunity to reach out to the mentors that I have and even gather resources and watch webinars. And it's now focused my attention to a very specific thing that does help the athletes. The other thing is I've seen I know speed's taught, and I've seen it firsthand in the 20 years I've been coaching. It is evident that you can teach anyone to get faster. The 1080 has made even more evident that there's inconsistencies in speed that I can't see with my naked eye. I can't see
Right.
with an iPhone in slow-mo. They're great. And I do a podcast and I talk to the great sprint minds of the world, and they have 1080s, and even they are like, man, it's overwhelming. There's a lot of information. And the old school ones, they do things like I just listen or I just see. Well, I don't have the ears to hear a perfect rhythm of and pattern between hurdles or out of the gate of the the 100. The 1080 makes it possible for me to at least be smart enough to give good coaching cues. And then help the athletes believe that they can get faster and then show them the data. And again, to go back when we just said, if you believe that you're getting faster and you have the data to prove it, sky's the limit.
Yeah. I think once they see what they're putting their work, all the work that they're putting into what they're doing is working, and you've got concrete data, it just makes them believe in the system instead of hope to God it's working. We really don't know. I have an athlete who came back from college, Division I, and they don't have a 1080, which is fine. But I said, so what have you done all year? She goes, we just run. I said, no acceleration, no block work. No. So how do you practice? They said, oh, just one day they said, just go do some block starts and that. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of the whole crux of the race is those first 5 to 7 steps. And you've got no feedback on that, no nothing. Yeah. It's funny. Ralph Mann wrote a book a long time ago. He wasn't fancy. He didn't have flashy things. He didn't wear cool T-shirts and things like that. And I'll be damned if he was spot on with that book.
Yeah, ahead of his time for sure.
Without a 1080, he figured all that out without any of that equipment.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know you wanted to wrap it up, but reach out to me if you need that. And I'll put it, I'm very vocal because I've had really smart people like Chris help me learn some of these things. And Kareem Ahab out of Georgia, I mean, he's brilliant. And Holloway out of Florida and Edric Floreal, they're great. And these coaches are great, but they have all this information. Kareem was in the car giving me these metrics and data points. And I was like writing down furiously. Well, I put them all into a spreadsheet. I can share that at any moment. It's worth having it and know if you have a 1080 or you're interested in a 1080, seek Chris out first. And then if you need any extra help, seek me out and I'll give you the reason why, even if you don't know how to get there.
Awesome. Well, JT, thanks for your time today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Stay warm in the 80-degree weather as we're going to hit polar vortex for 2 weeks here. It was funny because it went from yesterday it was about 12. And I guess that was warm because every kid that I trained walked into the house, they had on a T-shirt and shorts. They're like, the wind chill is 2 below. Yeah, that's all right. It's only a 30-yard walk. But what if the car crashes? Yeah, it's not going to crash. But there's ice everywhere. Yeah, we'll miss it.
Okay. Well, we talk on the eve of the, playoffs in the NFL. So I need the Bears to lose so the Niners and this sweet folk from California don't go to Chicago and have to play a game where we can't we'll die. Well, frostbite is going to happen.
It's going to be cold. It's supposed to be record cold Sunday night.
Well, good luck.
Bears.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Jeez.
Thanks, JT.
Thanks, Chris.